Can you remember that they're changing my voice? This video is about the 189,000 people who die every day. 3 to 10,000 of them at least are rich people and their close loved ones. People in the governing class who think it's a good idea to provoke and persecute the most righteous guy that ever lived, when their allies and their family members are passing away every day. What they're doing is by far worse, than pissing on the graves of their family members, right? Can you imagine these rich guys pissing on their family members' graves, snickering and giggling, okay, unnecessarily, and saying that it's because they're idiots, that's why they're doing it. Okay, it's pathetic, right? What they're doing is far worse, far more childish, and far more pathetic than that. I'm the most righteous person that ever lived. They do not have a viable counter argument for the fact that I'm Christ. In all the videos I made proving it, they haven't presented a single viable counter argument, not even a letter of a viable counter argument, because no viable counter argument exists. I've overkilled this like as much as I've overkilled it on the top martial arts ever. They're hiding from my challenge because they can't beat me, and they have no viable counter argument. They don't even make it a serious attempt to counter it because I'm right. Okay? Denial is not a river in Egypt, as they say. And delusion is when you ignore the abundance of evidence, like thousands of videos from a brain surgeon's son with a college degree, with a top martial arts challenge, legal and peaceful. Okay, 10 million if I'm compensated, 60,000 if I'm not for a challenge. It should only take a few minutes at the park. Okay, sparring, legal and peaceful. They are delusional when they pretend that challenge means nothing. How many websites, how many schools talk about mind, body, soul, and spirit in martial arts? David and Goliath, angels depicted with spears, Samson, Joshua, I can go on and on. They are delusional if they think that challenge means nothing when Christ is a character in the story himself said in John 10, believe the works. Christ is waging war, not playing chess or doing science, waging war with righteousness and justice. He came to bring a sword with a sharp double-edged sword coming out of his mouth, mind, body, soul, and spirit. They are delusional if they don't know that I'm right and they don't run, not walk to obey God through me. It's obvious that I'm right. Can you imagine high school kids who know damn well what I just said makes perfect sense, snickering? Okay, when I was in high school, man, when I was about 17 years old, I got into a scuffle with somebody, and they tried to stab me many times, and they barely nicked my skin like 3, 4, 5 times. Okay? Great warrior. This guy was in college. He tried out for the Michigan State football team, University of Michigan football team. And he couldn't even manage to stab me. Older, stronger, what have you. Okay? Because I was and I am a very serious guy. When these people are older, these high school kids, they will be nowhere near as serious and as mature as I was at 17 years old. When they're 27, when they're 37, how do I know? Because I know people. I analyze them carefully. That's what I do. I see the trajectory. I see the development. I see who they're listening to, who's training them. How can I respect people who aren't as mature as I was at 10 years old? Insulting their own ancestors for no reason, disgracing and damning their children to hell by persecuting the most righteous person that ever lived. Could you respect that? I sure as heck don't. Point number 1. They are mocking God in all their groups by their rebellion and often falsely and dishonestly claiming that they are loyal to God or right with God by their actions. By their actions. Like these people on TikTok. Okay, these people who go and they have big old rallies for Christianity, the Dodgers, and they complain about this, that, and the other thing, and both sides are wrong. They act like they're actually representing God. They said that God's spirit is there sometimes. They're full of shit. They don't know God. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. There's some kind of beta fairy spirit and not God's morally precise, mature martial arts spirit, and they're mocking God while their family members are dropping like flies, while their congregation, Catholic, Protestant, you name it, dropping like flies every day. There's billions of these people who have these labels. 189,000 people die every day. While they're mocking God, acting like, you can't act like a kid. You can't tell the difference between the preachers who molest children and the ones who don't because their spirit is identical. Identical? Need I say more? Point number 2. They are in the greater grouping of KKK and racist social clubs and corporations that subtly and otherwise threaten anyone who would make a big fuss about them mocking God. Did I say they're all in the Klan? No. Did I say they're all in the Klan? No. I said they're in the greater grouping of KKK and racist social clubs and corporations that subtly and otherwise threaten anyone who would make a big fuss about them mocking God. Point number 3. They deny me my rightful place, and they deny me my ability to openly lead the masses, which would have allowed me to end illogical suffering, have a beautiful wife and a beautiful family, and more. And they even have their daughters harassing me with them, little kids in high school and stuff. One today just said, look at his funny glasses after I got blinded for doing the right thing, which includes sticking up for females like her who are getting turned out every moment of every day, spiritually and otherwise. You know how many kids get abused about her age? They look like her every single day. And she's mocking the one guy trying to do something about it. I'm sure she has fucking divine judgment. Anyway, point number 4. The true offspring of the righteous are not around except for my parents and I, because people who think like them roll with evil and conveyed various degrees of evil. Point number 5. Not only do people tend to not think this way, the way I think, but they almost certainly will not publicly concede that I am right. Point number 6. People are confusing things in an organized manner, which creates the need for me to be given my rightful place more and not less. Point number 7. They are playing some kind of sick game of trying to make me their modern-day slave, and they must have done some variation of this to turn out many of the porn stars, etc. Point number 8. They try to get me to convert to their philosophies, and many people, many people change religions according to a lot of news articles, which is a form of provoking me, as my philosophy is obviously superior and I'm the top martial artist ever. So, say for example, they're provoking me, they get me angry, they say, you should try being a Buddhist. They say, you should try being a gay or one of these gay philosophers, you're being a feminist. You just fucking provoke me every day for years, and you want me to switch to your philosophy? And this is California, where black people use all kinds of foul language. Tell me they're not provoking me to insult their group, and then they're going to turn around and say, he's insulting us. You don't think that's fucking immature? You don't think that proves definitively that I am actually right? That I am right to not follow you people? You don't know what the fuck you're talking about when it comes to God. You know what the fuck you're talking about when it comes to martial arts, when it comes to love, marriage, discipline, maturity, righteousness, justice, heart. You don't have a single life principle intact. And you're pissing on the graves of your ancestors and your offspring in the future, before they get killed, before they die. You're mocking the righteous. You're mocking God. Only the dumbest of idiots follows other people. I've proven it in so many videos, especially this one.